got my knife, I've got my box. Here we go. Right, I've just got a really exciting parcel in here, and this has actually got a couple of 78s, Japanese 78s, and something else in there. But it's the 78s that I really want to show you, because the items that I bought online, the description, it only showed the labels of the 78s. The item description said with inserts, and if the inserts are there, these are the perfect 78s to show you what happened to the packaging of Japanese Elvis 78s in the 1950s. And if the inserts aren't there, then it's going to be a pretty boring video. I'm just hoping that the seller meant inserts and not company sleeves. Well, I can see the company sleeves are there, and I can see the inserts are there as well. All right, this is going to be good stuff. Well, the most important thing, actually, maybe the inserts are more important, but another important thing is, are the records, are the 78s in one piece? They appear to be. Okay, so I've only got a couple of Elvis Japanese 78s, so my collection has doubled. Okay, you can see I'm handling these, well, you can't see it, but I am handling them very, very carefully. Right, so the first one, I think this one is one I do have. Actually, no, I don't. Or do I? I don't normally forget if I've got something or not. This is I Was the One. And of course on the other side, God, these things are so fragile, and they're quite heavy as well. Heartbreak Hotel. I think I do have that one already, but anyway, that doesn't matter so much. There is the company sleeve, and there were 2 or 3 Victor company sleeve designs around that time. I don't think I've got this one. It's a colourful one. There are no pictures of Elvis on there. These were designed before his first record was released. Right, so one of the things about 78s in Japan is they almost never turn up with their inserts. And I guess that was because maybe the records were not, the 78s were not actually in any kind of plastic cover. So the inserts and the records got separated, because the inserts are a different size. There you go. So this is the Heartbreak Hotel insert, and this is great. I've never owned one of these before. It folds out like that, and on the inside you've got Japanese notes and the lyrics on the right side, and then on the back the lyrics continue, and you get the lyrics for the second one. So just to compare, you can see that the inserts are about 7 inches high by about 5 inches wide. So they released the 78s with that kind of insert for the first few 78s. And in fact, the Heartbreak Hotel one, the very first one was green. This is the second one, pink. Now, pink one is more common than the green one. So what they did when All Shook Up came out was they changed the inserts on 78 so that they were exactly the same as 45s. 7-inch by 7-inch square insert, beginning with, as I say, the All Shook Up 78. And what do I happen to have here? It is All Shook Up. So what do you think is on the B side? That's when your heartaches begin? Mama Guitar by Julius La Rosa, I think it is. Yeah, Julius La Rosa with Hugo Winterhalter's orchestra, from the movie A Face in the Crowd. So let me show you the insert that that came with. There you go. So it's a 7-inch by 7-inch insert, just like a single. So all the 78s from this one onwards, or shook up onwards, they all came with an insert that was exactly the same as the 7-inch records, which made sense because they don't have to print two different designs then. And on the back there, you've got just the lyrics in this case. A couple of interesting things about All Shook Up. Well, the first thing is this insert here. You can see that there are two catalog numbers here. One is for the 78 and one is for the 45. And at the top here, you've got a row of text here where you can see the number 300. And that's basically telling you it's, you know, commemorating the 300th 78 RPM release on Victor. And the title of All Shook Up, they don't seem to have been able to make up their mind about what the Japanese title was, because on the back side here, you can see it says All Shook Up in English at the top there, and then underneath that, just below that, it's got Koi ni Shibirete, which is the Japanese title. But on the label, just under the Japanese title, sorry, just under the English title, All Shook Up, there's another Japanese title, Ore Shuku Up, I think it's, so yeah, Ore Shuku Up. So it's, they've just phonetically changed it to Japanese that way. So that's what they did with 78s, how they changed the packaging, and they continued releasing 78s up until 1958. And the last ones are really, really rare and expensive. I don't have anything from as late as 1958. And just to finish off, I'll show you what else is in here. I'll show you this in more detail in another video because I've got a few of these. This is actually, for want of a better expression, a flexi book. So it's like a magazine, around about 7-inch by 7-inch size, and it's got a bunch of flexi discs in there. But as I say, I'll talk about these and this one in particular later in another video. But that's it for this video. I'll go and clean these records up. Can't play them. I haven't got a turntable that plays 78, but it's good to have these. Any comments or questions, drop them in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. Just on a kind of a related topic to what we've just talked about, I thought I'd show you a series of singles that they brought out in Japan that were kind of unusual. The packaging was a little bit unusual. If you've seen any of my videos on Japanese singles, you'll know that they were basically released with an insert and a company sleeve. So it wasn't just Victor that did that. I've got a few other examples here to show you. This is a record on the MGM label. So this is music from the movie Ben-Hur. And you can see that it's just got the paper insert there with the MGM company sleeve and the record there. So that was MGM, and it wasn't just foreign artists and foreign movies, they also did it with Japanese artists as well. So here's a record by a Japanese artist, Peggy Hayama, and that's another insert there. And this is on the King label. This is the King sleeve and the King record label. And they carried on doing that for quite some time. So going into the 70s and 80s, just a couple of other examples here. There's an ABBA single I happen to have. Insert Disco Mate. Is that the name? Yeah, Disco Mate sleeve, Disco Mate label. It's got a couple more. The thing from Ghostbusters. Arista sleeve. Arista label. Oh, look at this one. Rod Stewart, Do You Think I'm Sexy? Now the Japanese title, written in big letters at the top here, is just I'm Sexy. Same idea. Insert Warner Brothers, Pioneer, Atlantic, Reprise, etc. Company sleeve and the label there. So there were one or two labels that actually released singles in proper picture sleeves. For example, Polydor. And I've got an example here for you. This is Naturally by Fat Mattress. Maybe most of you don't know this band. The guy over here on the far left, that's Noel Redding. He was the bass player in the original Jimi Hendrix Experience, and when he left Jimi Hendrix, he formed this band, Fat Mattress. If you look onto the back there, you can see foldovers there at the top and bottom. It's actually a picture sleeve, proper picture sleeve. So there was no need for an additional Polydor company sleeve. So that red Polydor label, and very often these singles would come with a lyric sheet as well. So that was one label that did actually use picture sleeves. So in 1970, RCA in Japan, they released a series of reissue singles, not always with the original A and B sides, but sometimes famous songs on both sides, A and B. And the series was called Gold Standard, and they released 3 Elvis singles in that series. So this one here was the first one, which came out at the end of 1970, Jailhouse Rock on one side and Heartbreak Hotel on the other. And if we look at the back there, you can see, just like that Polydor sleeve, it's just a standard picture sleeve with the foldovers here at the top and bottom. All the lyrics are on the back there, so there's no need for another insert. Same series, about a month later, they came out with another one. This one's Hound Dog, Don't Be Cruel. Same idea on the back. And then it took them a couple of years to release the next one, which came out in 73. And that was this coupling of You Don't Have to Say You Love Me and Burning Love, which had both been big hits in Japan. The version of You Don't Have to Say You Love Me on this one is actually in stereo. The first pressing was actually in mono. Once again, you can see that's a picture sleeve there. And this set of 3 singles, they kept on reissuing those throughout the 1970s. You can see it says here Gold Standard Series, and they reissued them in the mid-70s, and they changed the series name to Best of Gold Standard. So they must have narrowed down that Gold Standard series to the most popular ones. And they changed the artwork. I don't have any of those 3 singles, but they did release them again. All 3 singles came out again in August 1977, and the official release date is August the 5th, 1977, so just weeks before Elvis died. And they all look fairly similar with completely new sleeves. So the first one is here, Jailhouse Rock, Heartbreak Hotel. You may have seen this set of 3 singles because they're not that uncommon. And if you look at the next one, Hound Dog, Don't Be Cruel, the background is very similar, except the woman's blouse has changed color. And the last one, of course, Burning Love, You Don't Have to Say You Love Me. But by this point, in fact, by the previous series, the Best of Gold Standard series, they'd gone back to using the old style of inserts and company sleeves. There's the insert and the RCA sleeve. So that little series of picture sleeves there was unusual. They only released those 3 Elvis picture sleeves. Okay, that's really it for this video. Thanks a lot for watching. See you next time. Cheers.